Hola, buenos días, soy Nico.
So this is really a message for myself. This is my personal Instagram, which I am gonna start being more active on here, even though I say that every time. But I just wanted to say, as of today, I've chosen to not continue to live my life in sin, and I will not engage or try to elude all negative or alluring thoughts about any male. I know that any male living is my brother, that we shall not fornicate together, that we should not lay with each other as a woman will lay with a man. But I do recognize my journey, and I recognize me and my understanding with why I had to go through what I had to go through and why I had to choose that battle as my battle, because we have many different battles.
I was ridiculed, I was chastised, I was pinned to the cross for not being open.
So today, we're here to talk about something that's probably going to have me divulging a bit more of my life than I normally would, if I'm being quite honest. So let's just get really into it. But before we get started, if you like this kind of content, make sure to follow me on Patreon at patreon.com/Nicosaesthetics for more exclusive lives, weekly videos to be a part of the podcast, which is airing. By the time this video goes public, I should have another episode up. I'm trying to do it at least once a week. The days that it's up, who knows? It's gonna be in between the days that I post these videos. But let's get started before I start rambling. And if you like this content, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you. We just hit 19K actually, and I'm really happy about that. So thank you for your continued support and support of the channel. But yes, I've ranted long enough. Today we're here to talk about Gsuwoo's creator, Gregory Wright. I believe that's his name. I did a little background check on him. And he has made a very popular fashion brand. Kind of like, let me not equate it to Fashion Nova, because I'm sure this man actually puts a lot of work into his designs rather than just like stealing from other content creators. But I'm addressing him today on Valentine's Day, the day of love. At least that's when it's being recorded. Because as you saw in that video, he made a public statement where he was basically saying he's gonna pray the gay away. And this resonated with me because when he announced this, people were like dragging him, people were kikiing, they were going, oh, but wasn't you just dropping low and twerking it like a thotty to blah 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 blah. And the old, you were gay before you chose to try to not be gay. And what I want to say about this is we need to approach this with compassion and education rather than dragging him. Nico, yes, I can be saucy at times if somebody's in the wrong, but this is a personal life decision that doesn't necessarily affect me. That's why I'm just going to come on here and try to educate you guys that you cannot choose to not be gay, bisexual, or queer. Nico, what do you mean? As someone who is raised Southern Catholic, I had my baptism, I had my first communion, I was in Sunday school, I was in, my abuela used to speak at the church, like she would read Bible stories to the whole congregation, and my grandpa even owned, like his family owned a church. So if you don't know a lot about me, know that I come from a very religious background. I personally do not talk about religion on my channel, because though it is a place of solace and community for some, for me it was excruciating mental and sometimes physical pain. So it's not something that I like to bring up casually because I know it's a sensitive topic, but in my personal experience with the teachings that were being pushed upon me, it was a damaging process. So looking at him, yes, he is successful. Yes, he has money. As far as we know, that's what they usually flaunt. We don't really know their finances. But it's clear that he's unhappy with this moment in his life. And I don't know if it's because he's lacking community. I don't know if it's because he had a rough time with a man, because honestly, as someone who is bisexual, I've had encounters with men that have made me go, maybe I should just stop dating men. But that's just because, niggas ain't shit, that kind of thing, not because I'm regressing. But I wanted to talk to you guys about this because though we can kiki, though we can drag, and though we can read, if you have not been in a situation where your entire support network, aka your family and community, are very religious oriented, and then you are the outcast or the black sheep, you get ostracized. Obviously I grew out of it around the age of like 16 when I found my queer friends and I finally identified as who I was. But I remember those nights after being read scripture that said, you see, the Bible said I can kick you out at 13 because you're not obeying your parents' wishes, your guardians. Or just don't be out while your grandparents are alive because it'll embarrass them, that kind of thing. Or just don't bring this up around the family, you're acting too feminine, etc. And I remember I would be like 13 crying because I was being told that I was going to burn for eternity for being who I am, for being who God made me to be. Because at the end of the day, you cannot choose to be gay. You cannot choose to be straight. You can choose whether you want to engage sexually or romantically with someone of the same sex. You can fight your urges. You can run away hating what you naturally want because that is how your brain is wired. But at the end of the day, you're still gay. You're just not accepting it and you're just not acting on it. Because being gay doesn't mean you have to be having sex with men. You have a physical attraction to men, especially if you don't have a physical attraction to women. If you are far on that scale, you are gay. No matter how much you pray, no matter how much you run, no matter the situations you get yourself into to distract yourself, no matter how much scripture you read, your dick stands up when you see man butt. And that's something I had to accept, Growing up, I accepted that certain members of my community, certain members of my family, I'm just not going to be able to have that connection with them because I am living in my truth. As a bisexual man, I'm not going to revert and hide who I am and who I'm dating. Because I've honestly, I reference it, but I've never told you guys directly. I was engaged a year ago. And I brought him to meet my family, and he had brought me to meet his family. I remember my mom told me, she was like, Nico, I've never seen you so relaxed around somebody. And I'm like, it's because at this point in my life, I have somebody that loves me. I have somebody that loves me for me. I don't have to hide. I don't have to try to be someone else. They accept me for me. And just knowing that I finally found that person that brings peace in my heart and mind, it was the most relaxing period in my life. Clearly, if I'm on here and I'm like, that was the past, it didn't work out, but it just showed me that if I had stayed in the closet, if I had kept running from who I was, if I had let those strangers who judge everybody regardless, because church people are messy. Nico, as somebody who grew up, born and raised in the church, first Catholic, then non-denominational, Baptist, etc. I've been around the faith. They are all judgmental. So, especially because as we saw with Fat Cat and the pastor, half of them people are cheating on their wives and or are gay. So, move forward. As I saw, it was just better for me to live my life than to live in the fear of what people who were already gonna judge me were going to say. Because what I noticed when I moved out of that small country town, when I stopped going to those old churches, when I stopped having to go to Sunday service, my life got better. And Nico, no, I'm not telling you not to, be a part of religion. I'm not telling you to not follow your faith. I'm telling you, once you take yourself out of a toxic environment, your mindset changes. Because you see, I was limiting myself and what I could be based on strangers who did not care for me past that tithes and offering. Nico, I said what I said. Some churches, they do build small communities. A lot of these churches, especially the mega churches, they are not here for you. As we saw with Joel Osteen, when a natural disaster happens, he locks his churches up. He has to get bullied on social media to provide shelter for people who were displaced during a natural disaster. So, I mean, take it as you will. What I will say is, though the video of him twerking, acting a damn fool was funny when y'all was like, wasn't this just you like a month or two ago? Though that was funny. I'm not gonna say it wasn't funny. I feel like we should not be dragging him for the sole purpose of, if you did not grow up in the church, you don't know that feeling. But what I will say, at his grown age, because I'm assuming he's in his 30s, I could not find his age. At his grown age, you choosing to regress on your personal growth, you choosing to put yourself back in the closet for a community that does not want you. If I'm being quite honest, Nico, I've been across the Christian faith. There are some churches that do preach tolerance, that do preach acceptance. Majority do not, and I'm not going to have you sit up here and lie in my face. To regress yourself and to shackle yourself for a group of people that does not want you is not going to benefit you. At the end of the day, you can either go find your own community, or you can meld yourself and shrink yourself and close off opportunities so that you can be a part of a community that just wants their thumb over you. That's my personal opinion. I'm not speaking on all religion. I'm not telling you to lead a church. Nicosaesthetics is not sitting here trying to convert you to atheism, agnostic. I'm agnostic at this point in my life. I'm not sitting here to convert you to like question the higher powers. What I am telling you is love yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Because this isn't something that's just easy to navigate. Hell, at 26, even though I am proudly bisexual, it is still not something that you can easily navigate. Like, life in general is hard, but when you add on something that you can't help that ostracizes you from majority of the public, because though we all gay online, it's fun, dick and balls, real life is not too kind to homosexual and or non-heterosexual people. Non-cisgendered heterosexual people. Let me encompass it all. So, once again, be kind to yourself. I love you, and I hope that you have a good week. Also, if you don't have no Valentine's, bitch, it don't fucking matter. Nico, this is the side note. You don't need no man. You don't need no woman. You just need yourself, B. You just need your... Let me stop. Let me get off my soapbox. But yes, definitely drop your opinions down below. How do you feel about people that pray the gay away? When growing up, when you were in the church, if you were, did you go through those moments where you sat there and prayed and asked, why can't I be normal? Why am I thinking like this? Why do I have these thoughts? Because honestly, if I could have stayed in the closet a little longer as a teenager, I would have. Just because those are the formative years. I doubt I'd be the man that I am today if I had, but it would have saved me a lot of trauma. A lot of sleeping on park benches, a lot of walking in the middle of the night, wondering where I'm gonna go. It was hard. I don't come on here, I don't talk about my personal life, because my trauma, I've resolved it with my family. We sat down, we had those grown folk conversations, but a lot of people don't get that opportunity. So definitely drop your opinions down below, and I can't wait to learn and listen and be loving when you do this, because though it is a bit silly that at his grown age he's deciding to regress, it's something I can't blame him for, knowing how that feels. But yes, I'm done ranting. Boop. And now for a quick yet sincere shout out to this week's Third Eye Tier subscribers, Trey S. and Ian. You are greatly appreciated, especially as some of my original Third Eye Tier subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. And this week's live stream conversation is going to be over choosing to be queer. So if that sounds interesting or if you have a story to get off your chest, definitely tune in.